Hello, Maverick traders, and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Ankit here, and let's break down today's market price action. It's a Wednesday, November the 20th. Let's get into it. As always, we'll be taking a look at broader market analysis, take a look at what's moving the markets, take a look at currency baskets, news events, and then we'll take a look at some possible trades ahead. Let's get into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So jumping into the market analysis here, let's just jump right into the headlines and the numbers here. And you can see that markets were just flat for the day. So we definitely reached this point in the equities where, markets are not really moving substantially either way. Maybe this is just a sign of consolidation, but overall, the market seems to be a back and forth here, maybe taking a breather. But overall, if you take a look at what's happening in the Ukraine-Russia tensions, there are definitely headlines that's driving some of the movements in the currencies. So every time we hear some headline, we see the yen spike, we see the Swiss franc spike, and that's what happened yesterday, and that's what happened even this morning. So just watch out for those. And again, if you are not comfortable with that risk, I think it's better to avoid them, because what's happening is it's a temporary spike that we get, and then we get a bit of a fading that move for the rest of the day. So that's really where we are in the markets. Now let's just take a look at the numbers here. And if you look at the numbers, we're definitely noticing Canadian dollar getting a little bit better. You can see that after 2 days of decline, the dollar did jump up. So we'll take a look at the dollar and see if this is if that was a pullback, are we going to resume the rally up, or are we going to go sideways a little bit here? So interesting to take a look at the dollar, but CAD is looking much better here. As you can see that the Kiwi is the underperformer here. Aussie was flat. A lot of the things were kind of flat to slightly negative and positive. There was definitely more intraday moves because we had the yen, which was down yesterday, and then it spiked again this morning. So there's some movements that we're getting intraday. But then if you take a look at a move generally, it doesn't seem like a big moving day, but definitely some intraday activity there. Now here we are in the equity markets. You can see S&P flat, World Stock Index slightly lower. Crypto, even though crypto basket is showing down, the Bitcoin, it continues to run. So again, I've said that before, this is a Bitcoin trade, not a broader crypto market trade. Now gold is continuing to rebound. So we had that massive drop in gold, continue to rebound there, and oil slightly down. So you can see that nothing is really major that's happening in the markets. Now, let's take a look at the cryptocurrencies. You can see Bitcoin continues to be the outperformer. It almost hit that 95K level. So, we're getting close to that 100K mark, which I know a lot of traders are watching. And there's a lot of people that are sitting on that for taking profit as well. So it'll be interesting when we get to that point. We're not too far away from that level. But you can see outside of that, you can't see that sort of momentum or enthusiasm in other currencies. So that seems to be only concentrated trade here. Now, here we are with the outlook here, and we continue to stay to a 0 to a +1 here. I mean, let's just take a look at where we are and what kind of price action we're getting. The prior resistance is now support. We did pull back, and here we are. You can see that there's a lot of movement. I mean, this is quite a bit of range that we're dealing with. Even today, you can see that we got down to the support, and then where we are closing is almost towards the upper end of that candle. So there's a lot of back and forth that we're getting here. So again, I think this is the area where you want to continue to stay long until this area is broken or this area is broken. That's where it gets short. But if it start to fill this gap up, I think that's where we'll probably get long here again and retest the resistance. So we'll see what happens. I think we're probably in this consolidation phase here for the short term. Now, here's the schedule here. As you can see with the schedule, we had CPI out of Canada that was hotter than expected, and I think that's what's driving some of the movement in the CAD again. Remember, CAD's been dead for the most part, and CAD seems to be resuming that uptrend here. We'll talk about it here. Here we are with the inflation in the UK. That was slightly higher than expected, so it seems like that seems to be the case across the board. We're getting better than expected numbers out of this inflation numbers. So this is just a 1 month number. If this continues to be a trend, I think we'll probably see more movement. But something we're seeing across the board here. We still have a lot to go through on Friday, especially we got a lot of these numbers, this manufacturing and services PMI. So the focus goes back on the growth, but that's pretty much it. So we don't have a whole lot, and I think that's why markets are kind of taking a breather here, going sideways. Don't have a whole lot of catalysts, so perhaps maybe some catalysts on Friday when we get these numbers. So this is again a great time to just focus on relative strength and weakness. So let's just do our currency analysis and let's see where things are.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
And jumping on our analysis here, let's just start with the Canadian dollar, because I think this is the one that, is looking a lot better here. This is the daily chart. So this is the level of resistance that we have. Pull back as, we pull back and we discussed that in the currency room, that this could be either a buying opportunity or this is where it fails. So it definitely has resumed going to the upside, and now it looks like it wants to break higher. So let's go into shorter term. So let's go into a 4-hour. Guess what? After the CPI release yesterday, you can see that this thing is continuing to rise. We did pull back a little bit. Now we are back at the resistance. Hourly, you can see that this is a beautiful high base sort of forming here. So I think a breakout on this CAD seems very likely, and 15-minute chart supporting that too. So I really like the CAD long here, but now let's just take a look at what the dollar is doing. So you can see that the dollar is no longer the best out there, like compared to the CAD. You can see that the dollar is sort of below that level. It did have a little bit of a spike this morning, but then you can see that spike did not go anywhere. So look at this candlestick that we're getting on the dollar. These are not the encouraging candles that you want to get. So I won't be surprised if this rally sort of gives up. We've seen that pullback. This is a daily chart. You can see that pullback here. So this is still a bull pullback formation, but a lot of times if the trend is sort of failing is where we start to give up this. So I think ultimate test will be this exponential moving average on 13-day. If it breaks up that level, I think that's where we could see some newer sort of a lower lows on this dollar here. But again, overall until then, I think dollar seems like a good contender. But if you take a look at dollar against the CAD, I mean, this is where, look at dollar CAD, nice little bear rally formation here. So I think I like the CAD long better here than the dollar. We talk about this a lot where one will sort of take lead than the other. And I think this probably be looking like it wants to take that lead. Here we are. This 39.50 area is a very important level of resistance that it broke. And now it's a level of support. So if it gives below this 139.50 area, I think there's further downsides likely. Now, remember, we talked about how this long-term chart actually broke, a long-term 3-year high, and then it broke higher. And you can see that now it's actually just pulling back a little bit here. Here's the weekly chart. You can see that this is a very important level of sort of a resistance that it broke, the 39.50 area. So I think if we just continue, if we fall back, and this is something you can do on a daily chart, if it falls below that breakout area, I think we're definitely going lower in this dollar CAD here. So I think that's where I like CAD more long than the dollar. Now let's take a look at what's looking weak. So we talk about yen, which again has been a volatile trade. I mean, here's the 4-hour chart. You can see that we're getting these spikes. We got a spike over here. We got a little spike over here, but those spikes are not really going anywhere. So again, that's where I think the risk is in the yen. If there's any escalation in this Ukraine and Russia situation, but outside of that, yen still looks like a better short. Now we are seeing the euro kind of going slightly lower on a basket, so mildly bearish. We are seeing Swiss franc. That's again not really going anywhere, but it pops up when we see a risk-off sentiment. So you can see that a lot of currencies on a basket level are not looking the best here. Again, here we are with the British pound. We got a nice little break here. Then here we are getting a rally. It's looking a little bit strong here. Now, CAD is the one that looks the best here to me. Now, let's go into the Aussie. You can see Aussie not really falling apart. And then here we are with the Kiwi, which, again, looking a little bit more weaker. You can see the last few candles here have been more to the downside. Now, if you go on the daily chart, you can see that this thing is just hanging off that support here. So I think the next trade, if there is a big breakdown, I wouldn't be surprised if this Kiwi is the one it does. But again, I need a confirmation of that. You can see a lot of lower shadows here. So we need to see a break of that. And if that happens, I think Kiwi CAD might be a great candidate to short. I mean, this is a daily chart. You can see that this is a nice level, 82. If it gives up that level, there is a better chance for this to get down to 81 or 81.25 area. So there's a decent risk to the reward there. This is a 4-hour chart. You can see a nice bear rally that kind of formed here. So a break of 82, I like this on the further downside if that stays weak on the Kiwi, and then CAD remains strong. We can also take a look at other trades, like let's say CAD yen. If the yen doesn't spike, then we have CAD yen sitting at a nice level of resistance, 115.50 on the daily chart. You can see this has a lot more room to run. We can also take a look at CAD against Swiss franc. Let's see. This one again, got a nice big resistance here. I don't like it above 63.50. Let's take a look at euro against the CAD. Oh, that looks a little bit better. We got a nice support here. Broke lower, bear rally is going lower. I think this one likes better here. And then if we take a look at pound CAD, which again was one of the other currency pairs that we liked yesterday, you can see that this thing had a confirmation on that break, and it's just sitting at the lows of the day. So I think this one likely to decline further as far as these the level of support goes. I think it's down to that 74 to 75 area. So it looks like it's pretty clear that we like the pound CAD here. That kind of looks the best. And even the dollar CAD, you got to pay attention to. And like I said, that key resistance level that it broke right here, that will be the first line of defense. And again, if you look at it, that's exactly where we bounced off from overnight. So that's the first level that if it gives up, that 39.50 area, I think there's further downside likely here. So in that case, we can trade the dollar CAD, but realize, dollar's the best currency out there. If the dollar really weakens, dollar CAD looks the best here. And then we can also take a look at Kiwi CAD and the pound CAD. Those are the only currencies that we like here. Like I said, CAD is on the +3. That's what I like. Now you can pair that against the weaker, the euro, the Kiwi, even the pound actually is on the weaker side here. So that's the game plan here. Play relative strength and weakness as always. Pay attention to the global headlines, especially if there's any headline and you see the yen spike, what's going on. So there's some forces that are making that happen. But that's the game plan here. Well, thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next update. Cheers.